Hello everybody and welcome to the Cultaholic live review show for WWE Elimination Chamber 2022. We are well on the road to WrestleMania. I will be your host for today. My name is Andrew and I am joined by the illustrious, the man behind the scenes most of the time now. You know, he keeps the cogs turning and the paychecks are flowing in. It is none other than Adam Pacitti. How are you doing, Adam?
All right.
Oh, all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
I'm feeling absolutely fresh today.
Yeah.
So it's the one great thing about a Saudi Arabia pay-per-view is the fact that it starts at about 4 in the afternoon.
Absolutely.
And you're finished. I thought this one was going to be a really long one as well. I thought, oh man, this is going to go on until maybe 9, 10. But we're done by like 8.
Yeah, it went by fast. Before I knew it, we were already like halfway through the card. And I was like, I can deal with this. This is pretty good.
God bless the Saudi Arabian government.
It's
a brilliant start time.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. If you've never joined us before, if this is your first time, we are Cultaholic Wrestling. We do all the nice daily wrestling news things. We got lists and whatnot that go out every single day throughout the week.
Good stuff too.
Yeah, very good stuff. Very good stuff. Thank you so much for joining us. So we are here to talk about Elimination Chamber 2022. Can you give me just a little bit of your general thoughts about the pay-per-view before we get into the weeds of everything, Adam?
I'll give you a noise.
Yeah?
It hasn't pissed me off as much as it seems to have pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah.
I looked at the cage match thing, and the average pay-per-view rating for it was something like a 2 out of 10. Or
really?
Something like that. And
wow.
I was like, oh, okay, right. It wasn't great by any means, but I wouldn't give it a 2 out of 10.
No, there was definitely some questionable spots throughout. However, I think some people got in what they needed to get in. I think we had some really good moments, and then the highs were high and the lows were they were pretty low.
They were pretty low
down,
last night. We've already got a super chat in, by the way. Of course we do, from Stephen Skodes. Thank you very much, Stephen. And before I read this, in fact, thank you to everybody who donated last night. 100% of those proceeds going to Amnesty. So really do appreciate that. It's very, very kind of you. He says, good morning, Adam, Andrew, and Dan. How are you guys? A-okay here, Stephen.
Stephen.
Last night's show was very meh, in my opinion. Seems to have had more bad/weird moments than good ones. This is 100% the least excited I've been for WrestleMania. Hope you guys are doing well. Cancel the show, Vince. Steven's not into it. Sack it off. Forget it. Thank you, Steven. Cheers, my friend.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, would you say that's true for you as well? Least excited you've been for WrestleMania, perhaps?
There's nothing that I think might be don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to Roman versus Brock.
Yep.
I think there's a new dynamic there that's quite fun and everything, but there's nothing that's sort of being teased thus far that I think, oh man, this has got me pumped.
I mean, that's pretty much,
it's all right, yeah.
I think that's pretty much the only thing, isn't it? Is the Rock and the Rock? What? No, the Brock and Roman thing so far is really the only thing of substance.
Becky Bianca
that
as well,
definitely. But I think going into WrestleMania, it's very much all about Brock and Roman, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it's so about Brock and Roman to the point that it's now title versus title. We're not getting a Universal title match and a WWE title match. We are getting one big match to, I guess, close things on Sunday. Veteran trainer as well. The live graded show is, I don't know what they just says. The live graded show is, can I get a hell yeah?
Can I get a hell yeah? One of them, because we all know he's coming back at WrestleMania. Come on now. Thank you so much. We've also got one from A.H. Thank you so much. Afternoon, Adam and Andrew. Great to see you both again. Looking forward to the review show. By the way, I donated £100 last night and it didn't pop up.
You're joking.
What?
It didn't pop up on the screen. It didn't pop up on stream. Mate, I will look into that. I will make sure it gets to Amnesty. Thank you so very, very much. And I apologize for that. Maybe it went to the wrong link or something like that. Maybe you did it to the Twitch link, but I promise you I will make sure that gets to Amnesty. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Should we jump into the weeds and
Let's
kick
do
things
it.
off? Let's do it. So, Elimination Chamber, the final pay-per-view before, let's not forget, the stupendous event that is WrestleMania, taking place in the beautiful city of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
Vince doesn't want the WrestleMania to sound old, so he stopped mentioning the numbers.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to call it the granddaddy of them all anymore
Not
either.
anymore.
But stupendous, a word that obviously all the teens are using. All us young'uns.
You see in Fortnite?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, call it stupendous. Dragon Slayer Pimp Cum Drizzler 69. Thanks very much. Take a bath. Don't know what that means.
Nice.
I've had a bath. Thank you, Dragon Slayer.
morning.
Big Pimp Cum Drizzler 69. The 69th of the Dragon Slayer Pimp
The one and
Cum
only.
Drizzlers.
Thank you so much. So yes, this pay-per-view is taking place in the beautiful city of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, at the Jeddah Superdome. Another thing, Adam, is this is the biggest concrete dome in the world. Might I add that? The biggest concrete dome in the world, which we keep referring to throughout. It is big.
You don't. That's a weird one. So I'm assuming they can't say it's the biggest stadium in the world or the biggest dome even in the world, but it is the biggest dome made out of concrete in the world, which is pretty damn cool. Firewall Dragon, by the way, I don't mind it being champion versus champion at Mania if they plan on unifying the titles for good. 2 world titles never made sense to me. I don't think they will.
I don't think they will. I think we'll see a traveling champion who goes between SmackDown and Raw when we get both belts. But we'll see what happens. WWE like to surprise us every now and then.
And that's Roman, because Brock's not going to do 2 shows.
No.
Cool.
So, as we go into the pre-show, which is Rey Mysterio versus The Miz, the crowd is hot, Adam. The crowd is so hot. They're already chanting, "This is awesome," before things kick off. It's a good way, I think, to really start off the show, you know? Having a crowd that's super into it.
Not just that, but you've got a match which is essentially pure panto. You've got arguably like the best pure babyface of all time in Rey Mysterio, and certainly one of the best heels ever in The Miz.
Without a doubt.
They're just doing proper sports entertainment. Like, it's never going to be a spectacular 5-star in-ring classic. I'm not taking anything away from the work of the 2 men, but on a pre-show, you're not going to get something amazing. But actually, I thought it was way better than it had any right to be. And it did the best possible thing in getting the crowd even more hyped than they already were.
Absolutely. So we got a little bit of play-by-play. So obviously, off the bat, Miz goes for Rey Mysterio on the corner and then quickly takes the lead. We get an early setup for the 619, but it doesn't quite happen as Rey Mysterio hits a baseball slide outside onto The Miz. The crowd are just already, without barely anything happening, right? The crowd are already saying, "This is awesome," which, again, is a very nice thing to see. Miz quickly gets the upper hand. We see a guillotine on the ropes. And then, it's pretty much just a back and forth for a very long time. It starts off, I think, quite slow, but then the pace starts picking up. We see a seated senton into a springboard crossbody for a near 2 from Rey Mysterio onto The Miz, and Rey starts getting the upswing in. Rey escapes the skull-crushing finale, counters with a 619, but as Rey goes for the splash, The Miz rolls out to collect a chair, only to get hit with a splash over the top rope from Rey. Dom then gets involved. Dom gets involved quite a lot in this match. There's almost like heelish sort of moments happening.
Yeah,
you know?
Dom does it. He tends to do it quite a lot, actually. Like, they're the baby faces, but Dom acts like a proper prick sometimes.
And everybody just cheers for him, though.
Course.
I wonder if this is like them sort of planting the seeds for a Dom turn.
You know what? That's where I thought we're about to get to the finish, but that's what I thought where this was leading, right?
Yeah.
Is that like Dom was actually going to cost Rey the match, and Miz's exploits were going to work to his advantage. Obviously, it didn't happen that way in the end, and I thought, no, they're surely not going to do that, first of all, in Saudi Arabia, where these guys are so beloved. But maybe it is planting the seeds.
I think
maybe
it must be. It must be. We're definitely getting that down the line. Whether that's going to be
Rey doesn't want to do it
at Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. Like,
Rey said he doesn't want to do it, and I certainly. The only way that match really works for me is not if one guy is a heel and one guy's a face. Like, the obvious way to do that is turn Dom heel and have Rey Mysterio as the baby face. To me, it's just like it's got to be just an exhibition match between the two, and not even necessarily a passing of the torch, but like a father going, "I'm proud of you, son." Even if he doesn't win, he's like, "Man, you really lived up. You've really put the work in, and we've had a great wrestling match together, a pro wrestling match between 2 pro wrestlers, and I'm proud of you."
I kind of like, part of me wants to see the passing of the torch in that Rey gives Dom the mask or something, but then at the same time, Rey Mysterio's like a one and only, right?
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio is just a huge name in wrestling, and I would like to see Dom not have to live in that shadow, because that's a hard thing to come out of as well, isn't it? I'd like to see him do his own thing. So the ending of the match, anyway, comes when Miz, obviously, he goes to get a chair from the outside. Dom gets involved to take the chair off Miz. And then Miz kind of just lets go of the chair, falls back, slams his leg into the ring steps, and does a very deliberate thud noise and convinces the ref that Dom hit him. Yeah, it'll do a little bit of evil harassment, especially after Raw, when Miz was like, "Hey, maybe you're a little bit tall to be Rey Mysterio's son. Maybe you are already son after all." And I really like this. I like this callback and everything to this. Miz then takes the advantage by attacking Rey from behind as Dom is getting ejected from the arena. He tries for the Skull Crusher finale, but Rey rolls it up for the win. And then post-match, Miz attacks Rey again, only for Dom to come running back for the Mysterios to hit a double 619 and frog splashes to kick things off on a high note for the crowd. And I think this was the perfect way, really, to set things off for Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I agree. I really wouldn't change anything about this match. And like, there was part of me that was like, you know what, I'm going to put this forward as an A or maybe an A minus, because as a pre-show match, it ticked all the boxes.
Yeah.
Like, you can't judge every match in the same way, because some matches have to accomplish things that other matches don't have to accomplish.
Yeah.
The goal of this match was to get the crowd super hot, to give them a real high point to kick the night off before it all went woo down there. And this match actually did that perfectly. For the reason that I've already stated, you've just got a brilliant heel, a brilliant baby face, and like quite an inventive ending that calls back to other stuff. And so I was like, I've not got anything negative to say about this match. Maybe with the exception of Dom being a bit heelish, but maybe that'll play into things down the line.
Yeah.
So I was like, but at the same time, it was just a match between Rey Mysterio and The Miz. If I was just to predict exactly what a match between Rey Mysterio and The Miz were to look like, it would have been this match. So there wasn't anything special there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put forward a B rather than an A for this one.
I go for a B.
What do you think?
I think it's definitely fair. I think it started off a little bit slow to the point where I was like, oh, okay, I know these two can do better. At least at the start, I was thinking that. I know they can do better, but we got there in the end, and we got the main story points throughout. This is obviously going to continue the feud, I think, for a little bit longer. And yeah, if we are planting the seeds for a Dom turn, I think this is a good way to do it. You know, get him involved, have Rey being like, look, I don't like you doing these little things here and there, but you know, I'll let it slide, you my son, and then something obviously happens somewhere down the line, I think. But I think you're absolutely right. Perfect face, perfect heel. They just work so well together. Great chemistry. I think it's a good way, and the crowd were pumped for it, and that's what you want. Start the show off strong.
And you know what? They were vocal all night. So props to the crowd in Jeddah, because it was a hot night last night, despite some of the in-ring stuff. So what are we going with there?
I think we'll go for a B. I think we'll go for a big buss-in B.
We'll have a big buss-in B to kick things off. The pre-show gets a B. We got some super chats to run down. Thank you very, very much for your support, by the way. Gunner Station, shame about what happened to Bobby Lashley, but thankfully he was protected. Cody Rhodes can save WrestleMania like he saved America from racism. All the best.
Yes.
Looking forward to that. Phil C, thank you very much. Network going after Mania. You're more entertaining.
Wow.
God bless you.
Thank you so much.
God bless you. Thank you very much. By the way, this next month's review show will be taking place in Saudi Arabia. We've struck up a big deal there. Who's the nonce on the left? I assume you mean my left.
Wait, what? No, clearly not. Clearly not.
Who's the nonce on the left has donated £1. Thanks very much, mate. All right, like Spike, get the cat excited, give us a subscribe, you love it. P.S. Pacitti, I'm not reading that lot. Oh,
wow.
Right. P.S. Pacitti pounds 10-year-olds on Fortnite, but there was a load of dots after.
You added the Fortnite bit.
All that for £1 as well. Otaku X Dragon as well. Thank you very much. Hey guys, Roman looked like $1 million. Who do you think in AEW could be a champ on the box office level of Roman Reigns? MJF, Sammy, Punk. Punk can certainly do it. I think MJF's got the potential to do it.
MJF's got the mouth as well, doesn't he? Like he's got the perfect promo.
Yeah.
And I think he'd just do such a good job in elevating himself.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. I'm there. I'm not sure Sammy's quite there yet, but out of those three, I think MJF and Punk could both.
Punk absolutely as well, especially if it's like a heel run, I think, as well. Yeah. It'd be so perfect.
Yeah.
Summer of Punk again.
Agreed.
Give us that. Thank you so much, everybody, for the super chats. And then we move on to the main card and kicking it off. I was quite surprised this was kicking it off. Well, I was surprised and I wasn't surprised. Roman Reigns versus Goldberg for the Universal Championship.
So I was made aware yesterday, and I remember seeing this in an interview or some report or something, that Roman Reigns will only go on first or last.
Yeah.
And that, I don't think that's him being a diva. I think that's him sort of protecting his image and protecting the belt as well.
Yeah.
Like it should either only go on first or last. And I think that's a good call. But it's still always a bit of a shock when that graphic comes up and it's like, okay, it's Goldberg versus Roman. It's like, what?
Because he's like, he is absolutely the biggest star in WWE at the moment, right? So to see him go on first is always a bit like, Oh, wow.
Yeah, it
but
can be a
then,
bit jarring.
part of me also feels like it could be sort of related to storyline stuff in that he just gets the job done. When the match is first, like, done, out, finished.
Yeah, agreed.
You know what I mean?
On a pay-per-view like last night, my mind immediately goes to, okay, he's doing something later in the night. Same with like the Royal Rumble sort of thing. If a big star is out early doors, then I always think, okay, they've got something planned. The cogs start turning and everything. But no, that didn't happen.
No.
And Roman Reigns also getting the first entrance, which I hate. That's one thing that I would like them to stop. I'd like the champion to come out first. Even if the title match doesn't go on last, I'd like the champion to come out last for sure.
And a huge pop as well. Huge pop for Roman Reigns. Like, it was insane, especially in comparison to Goldberg. I think when Goldberg came out, the crowd were a little bit lackluster. They sort of chanted for him when the match got going, but when Reigns comes out and says, Saudi Arabia, acknowledge me, everybody's on the feet, cheering. He's a huge star.
I don't know. I wouldn't describe it necessarily as cheering, but they were very vocal.
Oh,
I think it was a mixed response, but there were a lot of cheers as well. There were a lot of cheers, and like I don't know, like you always think that the Saudi Arabia crowd is going to be full of casuals, right?
Yes.
And it's going to be like a glorified house show. That's the way that we originally saw these Saudi Arabia shows. It's just like, okay, it's a big house show, it's non-canon, all that stuff. You can throw that out the window. It's not true. They're proper smarky, and they respect the really good, talented wrestlers as well. But yeah, they are. It's not just kids in that crowd, is it?
I think at least more recently, I think when we first started having those Saudi shows, we did see people kind of just getting up out of seats, walking around and stuff, and it felt a little bit strange. But I think it's definitely shifted now as we've had more Saudi pay-per-views. The crowd is definitely feeling a lot more like hardcore sort of WWE wrestling fans.
Yeah, agreed.
So we kick things off with a lockup to start off. Roman takes control and throws Goldberg to the outside. He slams Goldberg on the announce table. And then Goldberg takes control again briefly. He slides Roman into the ring, but Roman takes advantage of this when he does his uppercuts at him. Like Kane. Shades of Kane. What's going on there? He's giving it some of that. He's giving it some of that. Goldberg hits Roman with a spear early as well. This was quite not really a surprise because there's what we come to expect, I guess, from Goldberg matches. But he hits a spear pretty early on and tries for a jackhammer. But Roman reverses it into a cheeky rock bottom / uranagi. It looks more like a uranagi.
It was a uranagi.
I think we're hinting, though, aren't we, at what's going to happen in the future.
As time goes on, he starts maybe dropping to his knees a little bit, and then eventually it's like a full-on, just like...
a little bit of pomp and circumstance when we get into it. I like that, though.
Yeah,
I like that we're already sort of planting the seeds for that. Roman charges for a Superman punch, and he hits it as well. Roman then tries for another, but he gets hit with a second spear from Goldberg. Goldberg goes for the jackhammer again and then tries to get him up, but Roman locks in the guillotine.
Can we get, just before we continue, can we give big props? Because I thought the Superman punch last night was beautiful. I think Goldberg sold it very well. And a couple of very impactful spears as well.
I was a bit worried for Goldberg. I think he's made of paper these days because he's had blood on his head.
Every time. Normally before he gets to the ring.
Yeah.
But last night, I don't know how he did that. I don't know if it was on the Saudi announce table or something like that, because he was getting bonked on there. But I can't remember the last Goldberg match where there wasn't just a little bit of colour.
Yeah, it's a strange one, but I do hope he's okay. I hope he's okay after he's been paid millions and millions of dollars. But yeah, Goldberg, he goes for the jackhammer, Roman gets in the guillotine, and Goldberg drives Reigns into the corner, but Reigns won't let go, and the ref doesn't even try to stop it either. You would assume there would be a rope break at this point, right? Or a count.
This is where the controversy starts, because I'm pretty sure that Goldberg sort of got his hand to the rope as well,
right?
There
was a moment where he had his hand on the rope, but the ref wasn't doing anything, and the hand on the rope was just before Roman puts all his weight on him, drops Goldberg to the floor, and then Goldberg passes out, and Roman retains his title.
It's a botch. It's right. Like the ref should have stopped it. It's always very frustrating when the kayfabe rules of pro wrestling aren't followed. It does take you out of the moment a little bit. But I don't think it was as bad as some people are making out. Some people are just like, the match was ruined because of that.
I don't ever think it was going to be a classic, though, was it?
No.
But
Play the hits, right?
Yeah. I guess the thing, though, is obviously with them sort of honing in on the fact that this has been 2 years in the making, sort of building it up possibly to be something that it was, I don't think, ever really going to be.
You know what? I think had the match actually happened at WrestleMania, we would have got the exact same match pretty much here.
Yeah.
We would have just seen some spears. One thing that I'm disappointed in is that we didn't get a proper spear off. And I know that's a difficult thing to do because you might bonk your head and that's going to be sore. But I wanted to see those two bulls run at each other and do it. And we didn't properly get that. And I think that's a wasted opportunity.
I agree. No, it's all Vince's fault. I completely agree with that. I think that's what we... when that match was first announced, that's kind of all we ever really thought about was that they're just going to spear each other until one of them actually dies.
Yeah. And we saw some spears, but we didn't get the spot that I wanted. I thought they could have done something a bit more special. But you know what?
Yeah.
I don't think it's all that bad because the botch didn't take me out of it that much. And most importantly, Goldberg didn't kill anyone. He didn't.
True. Which is what we always look at. It's really bad that we look at that now, isn't it?
Sometimes that's all you can ask for with a Goldberg match, isn't it? And nobody was seriously hurt in this match, and that's great, right? Roman Reigns, you mentioned to me earlier like how good he looked.
He looked, and he
wasn't scared.
I guess the benefits of having this match now is that we are going to WrestleMania, and with Roman Reigns beating Goldberg, that's going to make him look fantastic, right? Obviously,
you know, this guy with no Uso bollocks either.
Yeah, no, which is good. I wrote that down as well. Like, I really enjoy the fact now that Roman Reigns is a much more confident champion than he was maybe a few months ago when the Usos were getting involved in every single match that he had. And it just made him, to me at least, it made him look a little bit weak. I guess as a champion who's just fighting to keep the strap on himself, that's fair enough. But it kind of took away from, this is supposed to be the big bad, right, of the company. But now we are finally starting to get that. Granted, perhaps it's maybe a little bit too late now that we get into WrestleMania. He could potentially drop the belt. I don't think he will, but we'll see.
I think plans changing have changed the story a little bit because Roman was developing into a champion who was just desperate to cling on to that strap by any means necessary. And he used the Usos and he was naughty a few times, right? And now the story is you've got this big confident champion who does think he can take Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar thinks he can take Roman Reigns. So I think the story has changed a little bit. If Roman wins both belts, which I fully expect him to do, I think we might see that story play out again with Roman getting desperate. So I wouldn't be surprised if after WrestleMania we start seeing the Usos and a bit of interference and shenanigans and all that. But we'll see.
I like that.
What would you give it?
I think I give it. I give it a C-. I give it a C-, right? Okay. I thought it was fine for a Goldberg match. It was quick. It's what we expected. The sort of the stuff that happened in the corner with the guillotine, I thought that was a little bit not perfectly executed. I thought, but I like the fact that Roman now looks more confident than ever. I think this was great character building for Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I agree. I think without the corner spot, the rope, them flubbing that, I think I would have gone for a C because it was just exactly what you'd expect. Expectations were actually quite low for this one. It was just average. It served its purpose again. It was the match that we thought we were going to get, but I think you have to bring it down just a little bit because of that botch and because of the dodgy ending. So I agree. C- I think is spot on.
It's a C-. Can we get that popping up? Whoa, it's popped up. Woohoo! It's done. Should we get back to the super chat?
Let's have a quick look. We got one from Adam's bald spot here, which doesn't exist, and I end up doing this every
Is this what they do to you? They always
they're
say you've got a beautiful head of hair.
Thank you.
Genuinely
you
do.
too.
Well, let's not go that far.
Anyway, Adam's bald spot. All right, Tory and Dingle, treat yourselves to a pick and mix on me. Adam's bald spot.
Thank
you very
so
much. Love a pick and mix. Cola bottles for me. The raspberry cola bottle, or the bubblegum cola bottles rather.
We get them. Those I can't remember what they are because big vegs these days.
It's gelatin and all the stuff, isn't it?
You can get these. I can't remember what they're called. Like the Kitty Association or something. I can't remember.
I know exactly what you're talking about. They do like
good.
an Eton mess flavour, and it's a cat head shape.
So
they're really good, aren't they?
So good. They're really,
Why do they
really
have
good.
to put bloody what is gelatin like fat?
It's like beef. It's
I know what it is
or something, right?
Is it from the bone?
I think it's the bones.
Why do they have to do that in sweeties?
Sometimes Haribo sometimes don't do that. Haribo have some vegan ones. Yeah.
Right. Okay, but most of them do have.
Most
the
of
gelatin.
them do. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Adams.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. The veteran trainer 88, thank you very much for the donation. Awesome show. Hope these continue. They certainly will. Hoping for a Liger appearance. I've not seen him. We are filming live in Saudi Arabia, so
that's a
hopefully
fair
he's managed to make it over here. That's a long way from Japan
to Saudi Arabia.
Is he from? He doesn't sound Japanese.
I think he's a traveling man. He takes what he wants from different continents.
Yeah, he does. A real smorgasbord. Of nationalities and ethnicities, rather. Is our Justin Liger. Is that the name? I can't even remember the full name.
I like calling him Justin Lightning Tiger.
Justin Lightning Tiger. That works for me.
I think that works.
Ewan, I'm here, Adam, you bastard. How you doing, Andrew, pal?
I'm very good, thank you, Ewan. I'm all right. I cannot complain.
Tosser. Prime A Threether? Prime A Ether, maybe that is, but in Leet. You noob. The Rock already teased a WWE return on Twitter after the Super Bowl. He sort of did. He said, soon you'll hear the finally. So yeah, he is teasing that, but that's certainly not going to happen in time for this year's WrestleMania. Maybe we'll see Dwayne there doing suiting, but I don't think that we're certainly not going to see him wrestling.
I think perhaps maybe after WrestleMania, the main event is closed out. Roman is possibly pinned Brock Lesnar, won both belts, and then on the Titantron we get something to what could lead to the next WrestleMania.
I'd love him to be there, right?
Yeah.
And shades of the Royal Rumble where Roman won, and he lifted his hand up. What's going on? Why are you booing him? I want to see that, but then Roman flattens him. He lays him out. Rock comes out, and he's just like, "Yeah, you did it, bruv."
That's bruv. You did it, bruv. Cause bruv.
And then, Roman destroys him.
I'd
really like to see that. But I think it's more likely that we're going to get something on the Tron here.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Thank you very much for the super chats, by the way.
And so moving on, we get our first Elimination Chamber match of the night. It's the Women's Elimination Chamber, with the winner getting a WWE Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania. And we get Nikki, A.S.H, and Liv Morgan to kick off. We get some back and forth on the outside between the two. Nikki takes advantage by slamming Liv into the chamber walls and gets an early cover.
I can't believe that you've just gone, right, we start off with these two. You've mentioned Liv Morgan, but not mentioned her magnificent Britney Spears outfit.
It looks insane,
so
right?
good, isn't
it looks so good.
It must be, first of all, I'm very, very glad that they're not just making them wrestling T-shirts anymore.
Definitely.
There's a bit of, that you can do a bit more with what they've got to work with. And the bodysuit thing, like... Oh man, Rhea looked amazing last night.
Did.
Some really, really cool attires. We'll talk about Rousey later, but she made it work as well.
That was awesome.
But the Liv Morgan thing, I think, is the greatest women's female attire. Sorry if I'm coming across as a creep here. I just think she looked amazing. She did.
No, she honestly, she really did.
That was a bit Vic Reeves. I just think she looked awesome, and I hope we see a bit more of that moving forward.
Yeah, me too. Also, I want to address sort of the entrances, which didn't make sense to me personally, because I thought usually it's the four come out first, they go in the chamber pods, and then it's the final two are in the ring, but it was kind of like mix and match a little bit. It was a strange one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
you know?
I hate it.
Yeah,
you know what? Because part of the excitement and the builds to the chamber match, like once the entrances are happening, is you know where people are sitting, right?
Exactly.
And it's like, okay, so these final two entrants are kicking the match off.
Yes.
And that's grand. And then we had it in both matches, didn't we?
One thing I also found a little bit weird was Alexa Bliss, who's come back. She looked phenomenal, by the way. She was really, I thought she was really good in this match. She inserted herself into this match without doing any of the qualifying stuff and still got a place in a pod. Yeah. Which was like, I was like, why?
It's meant to be, is it half random? But then you've got Belair who qualified for the last one. So I guess the remaining three are random. But Alexa...
Well, no, because because on Raw they qualified for the spots where they were. So Rhea got to like the second to last spot.
Oh.
I
just thought that was just you're in the match, but you're going to be randomly assigned, except for Bianca, who's won this match, so she gets to come in last.
Perhaps actually,
I've misunderstood.
I could be getting it mixed up.
But regardless, they should come out in the entry
Yeah.
Not necessarily in the entry order, but the first 4 coming out should be in the pods, and the remaining 2 should kick the match off. And then we had it later in the night with like Austin Theory coming out, and then he's just like, oh wait, he's just hanging about in the ring. What's going on? Of course, Brock's not going to be starting the match off. He's not going the distance, is he? He is going the distance.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it in a little bit. Anyway, we get Doudrop next. She comes out. Nikki tries to make an alliance between the two, but Doudrop gives Nikki a big old Glasgow kiss straight to the head for her troubles. And then she starts just squashing Nikki and Liv against the chamber walls. I love how much they build Doudrop as just a monster. I just love that so much.
Agree. Her trash talking's really good as well.
She's getting better.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of trash talking last night.
She's obviously fantastic in NXT UK. I think maybe there was a little bit of nervousness moving up to the main roster, but I think she's really starting to find her feet a little bit.
Agreed.
I just can't wait until we get the Doudrop drop that name and then starts being Piper Niven.
You reckon it's going to happen?
Maybe not.
I don't think
not
it's going to happen.
Not on the main roster.
I think they registered a trademark fairly recently for Piper Niven as well, so which people thought meant that she was coming back, but no signs of that yet. Doudrop's just bad. It just doesn't suit her. Anyway.
So Nikki avoids some offense by Doudrop to remain the only one standing in the ring, and that is when Rhea's pod is opened. I also want to say I quite enjoy the shorter intervals between pod entrance.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, the whole night flew by.
It did.
They just kept it really tight. I think in some ways it was a good thing. In other ways, it was like sometimes the stories weren't really allowed to play out in the way that they should, because it did feel a bit rushed at points. But that is a minor criticism as far as I'm concerned, because I still think this match particularly was very good.
Definitely. So Doudrop tries to interfere, but Rhea takes her out. She takes out Liv too, as Nikki scales the chamber wall to get away from her former tag team partner. Rhea climbs after her, bounces Nikki's head against the chamber, and then Nikki falls on both Liv and Doudrop. And then we get our first elimination not long after, as Rhea hits Nikki with a riptide for the 1, 2, 3. And I like the little storytelling bits playing out there. Yep. Obviously, they've just broken up and had their little, what is it, a tete-a-tete? Is that what you would call it? I don't know. French? If that's even French? Yeah. A little bit of something. Alexa Bliss is out next, and she goes on an absolute tear as soon as she's out. Like, there is just no ring rust there for her, saying that she's been out for as long as she's been out for now.
No, she was great.
I think the chamber match was starting maybe to dip in sort of excitement a little tiny bit, and then Alexa comes out and just injected somebody.
They loved her as well, man. When that chamber door opened, man,
it was really, really. I even wrote the crowd. They're just buzzing for it. And then, Liv hits a sunset flip powerbomb not long after on Doudrop to eliminate Doudrop for the 1.
I'm glad Liv got an elimination here.
Me too.
I think she needs that. And you know what? I think they're building her up, quite nicely, because the crowd are still super into her.
Yes.
They want to see her succeed. And this probably isn't going to be her WrestleMania, let's face it. And it could have been. It could have been. And I don't think people would have been complaining much if it had been Liv's WrestleMania as opposed to, like, Bianca's or Ronda's. But Liv will get there. I think they realise that they've got something special in her. And the fact that they do give her, like, I think she had some eliminations, or at least an elimination at the Royal Rumble. She had one last night. I think it's a bit of a slow burn with her because she's still got a way to go. She's not quite there. She's not on the level of like a Becky or a Sasha or a Charlotte. Or even maybe a Bianca. But in time, I think they're investing in her long term.
I really do hope so, because she's been getting nothing but better, I think, in every single match that she has.
In every way as well, right? And it's not just the in-ring stuff, because she's always been competent in the ring. She's always been all right there. But I think the character stuff's improved. I think the promos have improved. I think across the board, she is just getting better and better. And I think in 2 years' time, maybe we will see her at that.
I agree. I just really hope they don't put her to the wayside. I don't hope they make us think that they're putting stock in her and then just kind of take it away. We've seen that before, but then things are slowly starting to kind of like roll around. I think especially on Rhea Ripley as well. We're getting back to a place where potentially we could get Bianca and Rhea for a women's championship down the line, and that would be very, very
Rhea looked class last night.
She was so good. And then not long after Doudrop is eliminated, Bianca finally enters, which I was like, wow, this really is going by super fast. Bianca's the last one to come into the ring. Like, wow. One arm presses Liv. Jesus Christ, is that woman strong. It is insane.
Every time she does something, I'm just like, wow, she can actually do that. And I remember commenting once on a live stream because she did something magnificent and she lifted somebody up and she was like, well, yeah, she's only lifting Liv Morgan. I can't remember who it was, but she's done this stuff with like Otis and that as well. She's incredible. She's such a star. You look at the way that she carries herself, not just in the ring, but in all like the press stuff that she does. She is a proper star.
She really is, and I really do hope she wins at WrestleMania. And then as I was saying, I really do think we'll get Rhea and Bianca down the line.
I think Bianca needs to win at WrestleMania.
Oh, without a doubt.
Considering Becky's return and Bianca, like essentially squashing Bianca.
Yeah.
She needs to get that win back, and I think it needs to be on the grandest stage.
Part of me is thinking perhaps Becky will hold on to it maybe until the next WrestleMania to set up sort of Ronda and Becky. I think there's
she can always get it back down the line.
She can. That's very true.
I would be disappointed if they did that. I won't lie.
I just don't want them to take the belt off Bianca the way they did the first time.
No, it was awful.
You know? It was so bad.
It damaged her for a brief period. She's
really,
getting
really
back there now, and they're still pushing her and everything. Yeah. But it was tragic that it had to happen to Bianca. It didn't have to happen.
Fingers crossed, things are getting back the way they should be. So yeah, Bianca enters. She goes on a tear as well. She's got a little face-off with Rhea. We get some like stereo suplexes with her and Rhea doing it on Liv and Alexa, which looked good. A little bit of competition there between the two. Kind of like looking back on the match that they had on Raw last week. That alliance does not last long though, as Rhea slaps Bianca in the face. And we just slug all of these, them forearms. It's like New Japan Pro Wrestling, Adam. It's insane.
It's just like that.
Liv then gets involved. She hits double knees on the two, and then Alexa just comes out of nowhere, hits the Twisted Bliss, and then Liv is out. Liv's out. She's absolutely... She's
good showing.
Yeah, very good showing, and I think hopefully, as you were saying, fingers crossed we see a lot more of her in the future.
Agreed.
Then Rhea tries to hit the Riptide on Alexa, but Alexa reverses it into a DDT position. Then Bianca hits a clothesline on Alexa while she has Rhea in the DDT for just a nice little
deliver
spot.
the DDT is a good spot.
Very
nice.
good spot. Very, very good spot. Then Belair hits the KOD on Rhea for the pinfall, and then we're just down to Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair.
And it was always really going to be these two at the end, wasn't it? Returning Alexa and the woman who won the place for like the final thing, and it's Bianca Belair. I think that this was, but everything before that played out nicely, and everybody had a chance to shine.
And that was the main thing as well, is this match, whilst very quick, I think everybody did get the spots in as well.
Yep, agreed.
And then we get to the end. So Bianca tries a 450, misses it. Alexa tries to hit a DDT, but Bianca reverses it into like just a springboard handstand thing. Insane. We then get some pinfall reversals. Looks like Alexa's going to hit her sister Abigail, but Bianca turns it into a KOD for the 1, 2, 3. And that is your match. And I genuinely very much enjoyed this. As we were just saying, I think everybody got the spots in. Perhaps it works in the Chamber's favor that the the time between the entrance is shortened. That works in its favor because the match goes past and it doesn't overstay its welcome. At the same time, perhaps maybe storylines could have developed a little tiny bit more in there. But all in all, I think everybody comes out looking like a star.
Agreed. I think you do it the same with like the Royal Rumble. You sort of play it by ear. You let those stories play out, and actually, although people are timing it, it doesn't really matter if there's 2 minutes between one and 4 minutes between another. And I won't lie, I didn't time it yesterday, but I think that's probably the way to play it in the same way that the Royal Rumble. Sometimes you wait in 2 minutes for an entrant to come out, for the next person to run down the ramp, but sometimes you wait in 45 seconds. It just let the pace of the match and the stories that need to be told dictate that time.
Absolutely, I agree. And I guess it's just like a testament to the wrestlers in the ring as well, that it just felt like it flew by so fast, but everybody still got in what they needed to get in. Totally. I think it just didn't. There was sort of like a slight dip just before Alexa came in, but then once Alexa came in, it just picked up again, and it just didn't. It was just didn't let up until the end.
The right result here as well. In the Bianca has the history with Becky. It should be her win. It could have been very easy for them to go, right, Alexa's returning. This is her first match back. Give her the win. But Alexa is sort of more suited at this point to doing sort of more character-based, big storyline stuff. So she'll do something else at WrestleMania. I don't know what that'll be. Maybe she'll beat Randy Orton again.
Maybe.
But I think Bianca versus Becky is the match. I'm glad they gave it to us. I think we really got to focus on the positives with this pay-per-view, because there were negatives. This match was a big positive for me.
Absolutely.
Which is why I'm going to suggest the grade What have you got for this?
I put a B+ for this because everybody just looks great in this match.
It was quick, wasn't it? See,
It
I
was.
sort of wanted to give it an A-. That's what I was going to put forward. I think a B+ is fair.
Yeah.
I think a B+ is fair, but I've got
B+
very
it is.
little to complain about in this one.
Good, nice. Yeah, it was very
There
good.
it is.
Very, very good.
We've got a few more super chats here. First of all, Kyle Lincoln. Hello, Kyle. Thank you very much. Cultaholic PhD Club check-in. Thank you. I'm a member of that club too. Tell us why Amnesty gets the charity instead of Human Rights Watch, Red Cross, or some other charity. Well, that's a very fun super chat that you've submitted there. Appreciate it. Well, the reason is originally is because we were doing YouTube's integration thing, and some of the other charities that we considered donating to weren't like integrated on their platform. But we've built up a bit of a relationship with Amnesty because we do these fairly frequently. Rather, it's a charity that I think we all believe in here. We think they do really, really good work. Unfortunately, only one charity can benefit at any sort of one time. But maybe we'll look at changing that. But Amnesty do amazing work. It all goes to a really good cause, and obviously with it being human rights related, as are the other ones that you mentioned there. But they just do very good work worldwide. So that's the reason, Kyle. Thanks for checking in. Rodrigo, thank you very, very much for the super chat as well. If Bianca wins at Mania, do you think it makes up for her 26-second squash, or is it too late? I think it does.
Yeah.
I think people will remember the big WrestleMania win more than getting killed by Becky. It shouldn't have happened, but hopefully this fixes it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bianca's going to put on a phenomenal match no matter what, and I think she's going to make it a huge moment for people to remember rather than the squash.
Agreed.
You know?
Becky needs to put her over strong. And I'm not saying she needs to get squashed or anything.
Yeah.
It needs to be a big competitive match. Becky's doing great work.
That's one thing that Becky is fantastic at, is putting other people over, I think.
Well, man, we'll talk about it in a bit with the Lita stuff, but totally. She's
absolutely.
a ring general.
Yes.
Karamu Sumisu, I hope I pronounced that correctly. I probably haven't, but thank you very much for the super chat. Cheers for your support. What do you guys think about Roman beating Rock at WrestleMania in Hollywood, then losing the belts to Bron Breakker in his first pay-per-view main roster match? Roman beating Rock and then getting beat by Bron Breakker. It's a very, very difficult one, and I've been Roman's been champion for so long now, and for so long I've been thinking, we all have, who beats Roman?
Yep.
Because there's nobody else on his level in WWE. He's a different breed. He's up there, and everybody else is a little bit down there. And they're building Bron up nicely. Yeah. Should it be him? It should be a new star. It shouldn't go back to Brock. It shouldn't. It shouldn't necessarily go to The Rock either. I don't think it should go to The Rock. I think Bron's a good shout for it.
I think Bron's a good shout. I also think Bron's a good shout for it. Maybe not his first pay-per-view main roster match. I think.
No, I think if you do it, you do it.
Then
the
you
first
do it.
one.
Like, make it, okay. No,
because I think Bron lost a little bit of momentum in not winning the NXT title first time. You know, he challenged for it, and then he challenged for it later, and then won it. I think you actually strap the rocket to him and do it properly.
Actually, that's a good point. I didn't really take that into account, but I think that would really work. And then, what better way to build the biggest star, right, in the company than have them do that straight away?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Bron is as good a shout as any. It should be somebody new, fresh from NXT.
Without a doubt.
Walter would be lovely. Sorry, Gunther would be lovely.
Gunther would be phenomenal, but I don't think they're gonna do that.
I'd actually prefer Gunther to Bron Breakker.
Yeah, I think I would as well. I think he's a very imposing, just
unique, isn't he? Not that Bron isn't.
He's a hunky man.
It's a coin toss.
It is a coin toss.
It's a coin toss.
It's a coin toss. We move on to the next match of the night. It is the tag team match between Ronda Rousey and Naomi versus Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville. And Ronda Rousey coming out. Is it the gear that she comes out in? I can't remember what it's called. It's the
gi, right?
The gi. That's the one.
I think it's a gi.
That's the gi. The attire that she wore at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Which looks very comfy. I'm not gonna lie.
I've got a dressing gown which is very, very similar. It's really not. No, she looked awesome. She looked really awesome. Cool, and it made her stand out because everybody else is wearing bodysuits, and there was a lot of variety within those bodysuits and everything. But Ronda sort of made it about her in quite a cool, unique way. I really liked it.
Absolutely.
She looked badass.
She does
like
indeed.
Sheamus.
Let's run down this match. So we've got Rousey and Deville, their star, only for Sonya to reveal that the arm is indeed not injured.
Yeah,
oh.
Which is good because I think when she was walking down the ramp, she was moving it quite a lot.
Like swinging it about. Whoa, I love this.
So yeah, I had a hunch, you know. It was revealed that a lot of us expected. Just good old-fashioned heel work. I got no issue with it. She shouldn't have moved her arm on the way down.
She shouldn't have moved the arm. It also it makes Ronda look better as well, doesn't it? Because she's got the arm tied behind her back.
Oh yeah, she's still dominating.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Even though the other two are like 100% and everything. Yeah, of course she does.
Absolutely. So with some distraction from Charlotte, Sonya tries to take the advantage, but Ronda gets a high kick and a neon, which looks so good. Like shades Kenny Omega right there. Woo! And then that leads to Deville tagging in Charlotte. Charlotte wants none of it though. Tags Sonya back in, and then Ronda tags in Naomi, and Naomi, I have to say, is the absolute MVP of this match.
It annoys me that they don't use her more on grander stages. Don't get me wrong, she's had a great career and she's done big things on big stages and everything. But the fact that she's not at the top of the division is absolutely... And listen to how over she is, right?
She's
and it's
so
not just the
over.
entrance. People know how good she is.
I mean, she had that match with Charlotte Flair on SmackDown, and it was a belter.
Bonkers,
like, it was a belter. And the fact that she's not in the main event scene consistently is insane.
Oh, she should be up there with Becky and Sasha and Bayley and Charlotte, now Bianca.
And she's proved herself
Rhea,
as well.
Asuka.
She can absolutely go.
And even more than like the in-ring work, she's super unique, super marketable as well. Like she's awesome. People just love her. Just give us more Naomi.
I really do hope that if Ronda is to win the SmackDown Women's Championship off Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, I really do hope that we get a Ronda Rousey and Naomi program.
Yeah,
big time.
agreed.
I think that'd be really unique
nice
as
one.
well, with the way sort of the.
And don't let Ronda kill her either.
Exactly. Don't let Ronda kill her.
She doesn't even necessarily have to win. As nice as that would be,
it's a huge clash of styles, I think, and I think that would work very, very well.
Yeah, agreed.
Very, very well. So we get to, where do we get to? Deville throws Naomi into the corner, and Naomi takes a horrible bump on her face in the corner of the rope. It like hits the metal bit of the ring rope, you know, and I was like, I don't know if that's Naomi out. I don't know if she's got a broken nose, but she gets back up. She's a good one. She's a good one, is Naomi. So Naomi takes control there and then manages to tag in Ronda, and then Ronda tries for an armbar, but Charlotte gets the big boot in, break it up, and then Sonya tags in Charlotte, who starts wearing Rousey down with shots to the back of the neck. They looked brutal, by the way.
Yeah, it was stiff, weren't they?
They really were. Tag back to Sonya, and Ronda is being worn down as Charlotte and Sonya constantly tag one another in. They worked really well as a team, I thought. But we'll get to the end bit, but I think they were doing good work as a team, as a heel team, just constantly, just back and forth tags, just wearing down the babyface.
Yeah, they were. It was all sensible stuff.
Thought they did all right. Big boot to Naomi from Charlotte, takes her off the apron. Ronda tries to tag in Naomi, but Charlotte takes advantage, using the rope, tying her arm back to pull her away from getting a hot tag on Naomi, which is clever. I like that.
I think, for me, there was good stuff in this match, but nothing quite clicked.
No.
Naomi did some really good work, and everybody, again, had a little bit of a chance to shine, but things just were a bit off. Did you pick up on that?
I did. I think Naomi has carried this match to no end. I think she did. And yet she wasn't in the ring for as much as the other women in this match as well.
Things were just a bit sloppy. And I know Ronda is pretty fresh back and all that, but I expected a bit more.
Me too.
Maybe I shouldn't have done.
Me too. No. All right, you're allowed to think these things.
I hated it.
He hated
I didn't. I thought it was all right.
So Ronda manages to get the hot tag to Naomi, however, and then she just goes on a tear, and it's very nice to see. She even plants Charlotte with a nice corkscrew off the top row. Charlotte takes control with a huge sit-down powerbomb, leading to a figure 8, but Ronda breaks it up, and then she's just thrown outside the ring by Sonya Deville. Charlotte tags in Deville, Naomi tags in Ronda, who hits a Piper's Pit with one arm, locks in the armbar for the tap-out win on Deville, as Charlotte just watches on. She's just there, she tries to get in the ring, and she's just like, just
forget it.
Stand out, don't need this.
Fed her to the dogs,
Don't
basically.
need this, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think this was a largely average match, but the finish with the one-armed Piper's Pit, I thought was quite cool.
I think, and this is just my personal opinion, I think Ronda looked more comfortable with one arm tied by her side than she did at the Royal Rumble. Yeah. And I think she probably did a better job as well.
She was proper fresh back at the Rumble, I guess. Yeah, she did feel a bit more into it. It still didn't click for me in some places.
Yeah.
What would you suggest as a grade for this, Andrew?
I'd probably go for a C+. I think it's a predictable outcome, and it's a way of making Ronda look strong, right? With winning with one arm tied by her side. But like, as you were saying, just something didn't click. Something didn't click quite as much. And I wish Naomi was in this match a lot more as well.
The most frustrating part of this for me is that I'm way more into the Sonya Deville Naomi storyline than the actual focal point of the match, which was Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
I really love the work of Naomi and Sonya Deville, and they very much took a backseat, which was exactly what we all expected. We all knew that was going to happen, but it's still a little bit disappointing. But I can get behind a C+.
Me too.
I would inch a touch closer, but you're hosting the show.
Oh, my word is gospel.
Whack it up, big boy. There it is. Lovely stuff. A few more super chats coming through. Thank you very, very much for your support once again. Firewall Dragon. I think Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker, that should be, not Braun. Could be a bigger star if they just called him Rex Steiner. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to acknowledge the fact that his dad's Rick, like, they had him out at the NXT show. They uploaded that footage to their YouTube channel. Like, we all know. Maybe they'll get there. I personally prefer Rex Steiner as a name to Braun Breaker.
It sounds better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Like Rex like a T-Rex. Makes him sound
he's awesome,
dead
isn't he?
strong. I think perhaps if we do get the title change, I reckon we could get a name change as well, you know?
Yeah, you doing that in a promo. Don't just have him come out the next night and go, with a name slate there. Yeah, do it. It's like, no, I'm Rex Steiner. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, fingers crossed. And Two Bald Scorpio. I feel like Becky and Charlotte could switch shows within the next year. So Becky can face Ronda and Charlotte can face Bianca, so she can stay in the world title picture longer than she probably should. P.S. Adam, you're receding.
He's not. Don't listen.
I'm going to ignore the wrestling bollocks. I'm going to ignore the wrestling bollocks. We're going to move on, and I'm absolutely not receding. Unbelievable.
Are we ready for the next match?
Don't do this to Tom. You don't do this to Tom, do you?
Well, he's got a lovely... Well,
so have I!
No, I'm not saying you don't. Look, this is receding, everybody. Well, it's gone. Look at that.
Gone all the way back there.
Dad, why didn't you get
They love you, though. Why do I get this?
Why don't I get your beautiful jeans, Papa?
You can have them.
No, I'm all right. Let's move on to the next match, which is we get to Madcap Moss versus Drew McIntyre in a Falls Count Anywhere. What are your initial thoughts of this one?
Flawless. No, it was scary. It was
scary.
Really, really scary. There are a few bits to talk about here, but obviously the real talking point of this match is that horrible botch. Tell us how we got there. The reverse Alabama Slammer.
Happy Corbin gets involved straight away, trying to help Moss take Drew down. It quickly becomes a handicap match without... There was no question it was not going to turn into a handicap match, right?
What was a bit weird is, I always wonder this. It's like, right, the match allows you to do 2-on-1 for the whole match. Why do you get involved at the start and then roll out the ring?
Away for a bit
just stay in there, batter him. I mean, grab his sword. Just.
Well, we'll get to the sword in a little bit as well. We get a big time clothesline that takes Moss down, and another one throws him outside the ring. We get some huge headbutts. Gee, Drew McIntyre is the best, isn't it?
Those headbutts. Nobody does one like him.
They don't.
It must be quite cool to be like you've got the best something ever, right? And Drew McIntyre has that for headbutts, and I don't think anybody's ever done headbutts as well as Drew. They're so impactful, aren't they?
So
they're awesome.
perfect.
But they're so safe as well. They look like they legit connect.
If I would want anyone to headbutt me, Drew McIntyre.
Really?
Right? Yeah. Because he does it so safely.
Yeah, no. I don't know why
I look amazing taking it, and he'd look amazing giving it. That sounds
you
big.
would look amazing.
Don't take that out of context. Corbin tries to help Moss, only to get run out of the arena by Drew, but that doesn't last for long. However, as Corbin returns to hit a double team suplex on the ramp to Drew, we get a couple of pinfall attempts from outside from Moss. Moss then gets Drew back into the ring, but Drew hits a double underhook throw to change the momentum to his favor. Then, this is how we get to it. Drew spikes Moss on his head with a reverse Alabama slam.
I think that could have been worded differently, because I don't think this was Drew's fault. I think Moss tucked his head.
Yeah.
He was certainly spiked on his head. He was certainly spiked on his head, but I wouldn't put any of the blame on Drew here.
That's very true.
So it was a very, very scary moment. You see his neck compress. It could have been career ending. It could have been worse than that. I think massive props to Baron Corbin. Sorry, Happy Corbin. But
He instantly
realizing the severity or the potential severity of the situation, dragging Moss out of there, allowing him to buy a little bit of time, assess the situation. Drew did great as well here.
Drew did very well. It looked like Drew was going to go straight for Moss. Almost as if Drew wasn't sort of aware of what had just happened.
Yeah.
And it looked like he was going to go for him, and then Corbin just pulls Moss out there, just take a breather.
It buys him a bit of time, and then they have a little bit of a scrap at ringside.
Yep.
And then literally 10 seconds later, Madcap Moss, who is indestructible, just, as far as I'm concerned, a legend now. Put him in the main event at WrestleMania. 10 seconds later, he's back in it, and he's running it.
I think we need to say that Madcap Moss has the biggest concrete dome in the whole entire world, right? He survived that, and he was. We got a little bit. There was some like belly to bellies on the outside. There was a bit of one that looked a bit wonky that Drew tried to do.
Man.
He was very. And I was like, it felt a little bit uncomfortable almost to watch it, because I was like, I don't know if he's selling this really well or if he's genuinely very, very hurt right now.
I think there's an argument to be made that maybe the match should have been off in some way, even though he appears to be totally fine, and I haven't read any reports to say that he isn't, but just that bump was really, really nasty, and I feel like maybe better safe than sorry.
Agreed.
But huge props to Corbin and Madcap Moss as well for just cracking on with it.
Absolutely.
I think I might be a legit massive Madcap Moss head now.
That's
crazy.
Thing. That's the thing, that when we get down to it, this feud has been built sort of not from much. It's been a pretty lackluster TV feud, right?
Well, they wrote Drew off. We should care more than we do.
We should, and that's the thing. They're putting everything into these matches that they're having together. Drew looks insane. Like, his intensity is phenomenal. I think Drew got pushed to the wayside a little bit, and I think we all we're a little bit tepid. We're like, okay, Drew's he's just there now. But now that he's come back, he's put so much ferocity into this feud, as has Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin too. They've made it something, especially this match. They've made it something that we're like, oh, actually, I'm kind of invested in this now.
I'm not massively invested, but I really, really appreciate the effort that they're putting in.
Yeah.
And that's you know what? That's the mark of a pro, isn't it?
Exactly.
Baron Corbin, an absolute pro, especially for what he did last night. Drew McIntyre, despite the fact that he slipped down the card, it doesn't look like he's going to have a massively prominent WrestleMania match. He'll do the singles thing, maybe a handicap, but he'll do probably the singles thing with Corbin. But they're still giving it everything, and I think that's awesome. So massive props to them. So what would you recommend for this?
So I'd give this, by the way, the end happens, Drew McIntyre takes the sword out, and then Corbin tries to come in and get him, but Drew's like, murder, goes for a swing. Corbin slides out, Drew hits Madcap Moss with a Claymore whilst holding the Claymore.
Extra weight as well.
To keep Corbin at bay for the 1, 2, 3. I'd give this a B. I'd give this a B because, as I was saying, for a not so hot throwaway TV, they've really put a lot of physicality into these matches. Unfortunately, I felt so bad for Madcap Moss when the Alabama Slam went wrong, but he, absolute professional, just got back up and did as much as he could. There was he even took a monstrous superplex off the top rope too. He went through the ringer in this match.
Right, he's just landed on his head, and then I remember 30 seconds later him eating an overhead belly to belly. Yeah. It's just gee, get careful now. Down with this sort of thing. No, it was. I think a B is generous, but I'm gonna go with that, right, because of Baron Corbin and how awesome he was. Yes. He gets a few more points from me, and I can't see the chat right now, but the They're probably saying but that's for Baron Corbin.
That's for Baron Corbin. It's all for Baron Corbin.
It's all for Baron Corbin.
WrestleMania is for Baron Corbin.
I think a lot of people might have been expected, even by this point, the grades to be a little bit lower. Yeah. I'm more positive overall on this show than a lot of other people seem to be. We'll talk about the ends. We'll get there when we get there. We got one more super chat to do before we welcome maybe a special guest. I hear rumbling in the corner of the biggest concrete studio in the world right now. Asmil Asnam, thank you very, very much. Hi, good evening. Who's partner Miz against Rey and Dominic at WrestleMania? Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes, Elias, Veer, John Morrison, etc. Good night in Malaysia. All my love to you. All of our love, in fact, to you in Malaysia. I think it's going to likely be Logan Paul.
I think it's likely Logan Paul as well. He was talking about all these handsome-looking boys.
Yeah.
Would I necessarily go for Logan Paul?
Elias, I hadn't even considered.
Yeah.
Elias would be kind of cool. Cody Rhodes, it's not going to be because I think that's such a massive waste of Cody. Don't get me wrong, they're gonna balls up Cody, but they're gonna do it in singles action rather than a tag thing with the Miz. Veer, no. Jomo, no. He's not. I don't think he's going to be coming back anytime soon. So yeah, I would say Logan is the strongest favorite there, and then maybe Elias.
Agreed.
But I hadn't even considered Elias. And S.H as well. We all love you, Adam, so know this comes from concern. If you don't take action now, Andrew will have more hair than you in 2 years. It's not too late.
Wow. I mean, if I tried, I could probably grow like one of the monk things, you know? It's just like
Hogan.
An egg in there.
You should, mate.
You
do the Hogan thing and get the bandana and everything.
When I first shaved my head, you saw the picture. I just like left the sides, and it was just like all flowing down here and nothing on top. Brother.
Thank you, S.H, for that. I'll keep that in mind. It's not true. I'm not taking that. Right. Anyway, I think I hear
it's time.
Somebody at the door. Maybe. What's going on here?
Is it time for Justin Thunder Tiger?
Oh, one of these things isn't true. Not true. Is it truth or liger? Liger. Now is it truth or liger? If you love Saudi Arabia, give me a hell yeah! Give me nothing in the chat. If you love that, right, cut that. We're live. Alright, that's not bloody good. Here we go. Take two.
Take two.
If you love Cultaholic, give me a hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
There we go. Saudi Arabia cancelled. There we go. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, Liger.
Are you mocking my authentic Japanese accent?
What? No,
That's racism. Racism.
I don't know about that, Liger.
Cultural appropriation.
Not sure about that, Liger.
Cultural appropriation. Here we go. And hello, Tom.
Tom?
That's Tom? Hang on. That's Big Boss Man. That's Big Boss Man
That's
Adam
me.
Pachees
Ray Trailer himself.
Wow.
Adam Pachees Wiz in the house. Here we go.
Wow.
Can we hear me? Because the fat lad that does the buttons has had to go out for a second, so I'm here. Here we go. I'm straight from Japan. If you've never watched this segment before, no, you're not having an acid trip. It's me, Justin Lightning Tiger from Japan. Here we go. And since we got Big Boss Man, I got some ideas to pitch Boss Man for Cultaholic shows. If you like the show, give me a super chat. Give me a hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I got some ideas to pitch. Authentic, original ideas. Okay, idea number 1. We get copyrighted material of all the accidents from different wrestling matches, put them together and call it Upsy Mania. We sprinkle on some Simpsons memes that are also copyrighted, some background music, and better yet, intros by now cancelled wrestlers. It will be fabulous. Upsy Mania.
I legit didn't know this was coming.
Upsy Mania.
Not at all.
Right,
If you like
good.
Upsy Mania, give me a hell yeah in the chat.
Yeah.
Nothing. Okay.
I wonder
Okay.
if we should...
You want to know wrestling news? You want to know it? You want to know? Here's what is an original show by me, a busty beefcake of a man that speaks to camera, directly to camera. That's right.
Why have you developed a list?
What's happened?
This beastie buff man is gonna be here's what. It's 100% original idea that's never been done before. If you want it in the chat, can I get a hell yeah? Can I get a hell yeah in the chat? If you want me to go, here's what. Coming to Cultaholic next year if Adam Pachees Wiz agrees.
Agrees.
No.
Well, keep it in mind.
Keep it in mind. Here we go. I'll keep the best of last.
Oh, no.
I give you Quizcade. We gather internet personalities from all around the web, put them together over Zoom because we can't afford to bring them in, and
That's
better
true.
yet, we donate it to charity.
Nice.
The charity's called My Bank Account. money. Can we get a Quizcade? If you want a Quizcade in the chat, can I get a hell yeah? Can I get a hell yeah if you want a Quizcade
Wait, what's
in
it
the
called?
chat?
Quiz Key.
Quiz Cade.
Quiz
Cade, like
Cage.
Starcade.
Okay.
Like Cade.
Cage.
It's the Japanese
That's
accent.
an original
It's
idea. I like it. We'll have
lost
it.
in translation. 100% original ideas. Can I get hell yeah in the chat? Hell yeah in the chat.
Speaking of quizzes, before
Speaking
you
of
get us
quizzes.
kicked off.
Okay.
Getting
This is probably
cancelled.
the last time you're going to see me, but never mind. Here we go. Justin Thunder Tiger quiz. Right. This quiz is Elimination Chamber themed because it's an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. You got to buzz in with your answer, okay? You want to play at home? Play at home. Give me a hell yeah if you're playing at home. Don't know why I've went American. I'm going to try and reel it back. Here we go.
Reel it back.
Reel it back. Here we go. Oh yeah, bloody hell, pork pie. Right, I'm back in the room. There we go. Here we go. Who was the first ever female Elimination Chamber winner? Who was the first ever female Elimination Chamber winner? If you're playing at home, give me a hell yeah and give me the answers. Oh, we got a buzz from Adam Pacitti whiz. Here we go.
I think it was Alexa.
Ding!
Go on.
You cheap buggers, we haven't got a dinger, we haven't got anything, so I'll be adding that to my fee. I'll be getting the invoice in the post.
Good.
Hell yeah. Hell
Nice
yeah.
to see you in
Dan
person.
getting paid. I mean, Justin getting paid. Justin Tiger. That's me. That's me. Here we go. Question 2. Who has the most Elimination Chamber victories?
I have no idea.
Triple H. It's Triple H.
It's 1-1. It's 1-1. It's tied. We got a dead heat in the chat. If you're excited, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I feel like the energy in the room's going down, but so here we go. Name either one of the 2 superstars. So there's 2 possible options. I just need one that hold the record for most Elimination Chamber appearances. Here we go. Who was that? Who buzzed in? I
one
can't
of
see.
That was me. Chris Jericho.
Ding, ding,
I
ding,
know the
ding.
other. I was going to say, is Orton on there as well?
Orton is the other answer, but I'm afraid you were too slow, Adam Pacitti whiz. So the point goes to Andrew.
Thank you.
Buy
Okay.
it, bloody ale pork pie. Accent back. Here we go. Question 4. Now 2-1 to Andrew. This is to make it a tie. Here we go. What WWE superstar won the chamber by eliminating every other competitor?
Oh, God.
Not including this year, as last year was technically not eliminated by any person.
Shayna, 2018.
Didn't need a year, but Shayna it is.
Go on.
To injury.
There we go. Now we go to a dead heat.
Oh, right, we got a tiebreaker. Okay.
I think I've been peeking this whole time, but who cares? The fat lad will come back, he'll fix it with the buttons. Here we go. If you hear me at home and I sound okay, can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
The whole time.
Wow.
It's just one distortion. One long distortion when I'm on the screen. Shayna was 2020.
It's probably a good thing they couldn't hear.
Probably.
I think that might have
They
saved
could
us.
hear it was just very loud, so they could hear all the bad things just overly loud. Okay, we're gonna hell yeah in the chat. That's great. Shayna was 2020, by the way. Don't know who wrote these questions. It was me. I'm
Right,
sorry.
okay.
I apologize. Here we go. You know what I love? Journalism. You know what I love more? Hard-hitting journalism. That's why I subscribe to Wrestling News Now. That's where I get my wrestling news. Wrestling News Now.
Right.
But I've got a question for you as the tiebreaker. One, if these is real. One, if these is fake. These are 2 headlines. One's real, one's fake. Okay. Number 1. Roman Reigns got Alexa Bliss pregnant.
That's true.
Roman Reigns got Alexa Bliss pregnant. Again, hard-hitting journalism.
That's true. So that's not wrestling news
And
now.
2, Becky Lynch and Brock Lesnar have had a secret affair.
Well, that's also true.
Oh.
That's right. They're hooking up in Saudi
I'm
Arabia.
bagged in one because I can picture a thumbnail. I think Becky and Brock is the real one. There. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I'll take Becky and Brock.
Then I'll take the first one.
You're playing at home? Give me a hell yeah. And give me an answer. And
Becky
it was number 2. Yes, correct. Becky Lynch
3-2.
and Brock Lesnar were definitely having a secret affair. It was confirmed by Wrestling News Now. You can take that at face value. I kind of went into a lispy American accent.
Can you do the voice? WWE.
WWE.
Just like that.
Just like it. There we go.
I'm buzzing.
Here we go. And yeah, that's me done. Oh no, wait, we got a punishment.
A punishment?
Do we?
Yeah, for little Andrew.
Oh, excellent.
Fantastic.
Didn't know about
Andrew,
this.
we got a punishment. If you look to your right, left, I'm going to switch over to you, Cam.
Biscuits, which is good.
Oh,
so
nice.
we've got biscuits, which is nice. What is this?
Way!
We've got hot sauce as well.
That's what we like to see.
The bomb hot sauce, by the way.
Is that bad?
That's like one of the worst ones.
Mmm.
Fantastic. So what?
So you got to eat all the biscuits and then down the entire bottle of hot sauce.
Well, that's
nice.
That's a great idea, Adam Pacitti Wiz, but please confer with me before the quiz.
Sorry.
Know your place.
I'm guessing
know your role.
I'm guessing it's hot sauce on biscuit, right?
Hot sauce on biscuit and eat the biscuit.
Got to give it a shake.
I really should have said that at the
ones,
beginning
yeah?
to build attention to the quiz, but never mind. Entertainment is not my priority.
Oh god. Like that.
I'm so glad. Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
You don't know
that's
what's
so
going on
glad
at home.
That's
There's
so
hot
cool.
sauce.
that
hot
I
sauce.
didn't lose that.
Oh no.
How much have you put on there?
Well,
Where?
the camera.
You're a nutter.
That's bad, that isn't it?
This could kill me,
This
Justin.
is my bumhole. He's gonna feel it tomorrow. Let me tell you that. Are you ready?
Oh,
you might
mate.
you might have to call the next matches.
In one. How you feeling?
Fine.
Ginger biscuits are quite a spicy one anyway. As far as biscuits go, I know they're not gonna blow your head off or anything. But there's a bit of a kick to ginger, isn't there? How you feeling? Justin, have we got any milk or anything?
I'm okay.
I left the milk in Japan. I left it in Japan. Oh, no.
No!
Oh,
You're
no.
vegan as well.
There's the milk in Japan.
WrestleMania.
Bye,
Maybe.
everyone. Bye.
See you later. You're right.
Joking on my slide.
Why did he? Why did he? We got a super chat.
chat.
Just dead. Adam, get yourself some Alpacin on me. What does that mean?
Alpachim, I used to use that caffeine shampoo.
Caffeine shampoo.
Yeah.
Excellent. #bald cheaty. I should have got that. You're right.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Right.
Do you wanna-
We got Becky Lynch versus Lita to talk about now.
Do you want me to go through it?
You're crying.
I'm crying.
This was a mistake, wasn't it,
This was a big
Justin?
mistake, Justin. Are we ready? Right. What do we think of this match to begin with, Adam?
Well, I want you to run down the spots, really. I thought this is a match of two halves,
Yes.
as far as I'm concerned. I think it started off and it was a little bit all over the place. Massive props to Becky Lynch for holding it together.
Yeah.
But Lita, obviously she's not had a singles match for over a decade or so, has she?
Yeah.
And she was rusty. You could
she
tell.
was.
But it picked up so nicely in the second half.
It did.
Are you okay?
I'm alright, I'm fine. Promise. I'm alright, let's do this.
Little tears go-
Let's run down the match here. So, Becky Lynch looks for the disarmer very early, but Lita reverses it. Becky looks frustrated and rocked, and even viciously slaps Lita. I don't know if I could run this down, Adam. It's
Do you want me
very
to-
hot in my mouth. Can you read it?
Is there any way we could get some vegan milk for? Is there
There
some
must
in
be
the
some
fridge?
oat milk in there or
Some
something.
oat milk.
Have you got some water?
Some water would be nice.
This was.
We're gonna get some
mistake,
water
wasn't
in.
it?
Oh, well, could you just
got
pull
water.
this up?
Yeah. We're going to get some
Awesome.
money.
And I'd love a Snickers.
You love a Snickers.
It's
Oh,
not WrestleMania yet. Adam.
No, it's not
Calm down.
WrestleMania. So Becky looking for the disarmer early, but Lita reverses. Becky looks frustrated and rocked, even viciously slapping Lita, as you say. But Lita has a lot of nice technical reverses.
does.
The court kick was particularly
That
nice.
was nice.
Yeah,
that
it was nice.
She goes
yeah.
for a kick. Becky goes for a kick, but Lita catches it with her foot and then just reverses it.
Right.
Looks fantastic.
Takes control and tries to go for a twist of fate, but Becky reverses it and capitalizes by beating Lita down, even calling audible spots. That's one thing.
That was one thing.
And it wasn't just once.
No.
It was like
There was a
fair
few
play,
times.
fair play again to Becky for holding this match together because like she just proved that she can do that. We all know she can do that, but she was loud. That
She
was like
was very
Cena
loud.
levels of shouting.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
It was loud. Becky applies the headlock, but Lita reverses it into a jawbreaker to fight back briefly before Becky gains the advantage once again and hits the draping leg drop over the second rope. Very
Yeah,
nice.
that
little
looked
style.
alright, that was
stuff. Becky takes Lita to Bexplex City.
That's what she says.
Yep.
She says
She
it.
does say it, but Lita counters the third DDT. The third into a DDT to stun Becky. We get Lita hitting a litany of clotheslines, even gets Becky into the corner, and she's about to get away garbs.
Oh, did I know?
Get get away.
She's about to get away. This is where she tries to get away. She's in the corner, but Lita grabs her with her legs and slams her down. Because I was doing it as I was,
by the neck and slams her down.
Yeah.
Becky tries the disarmer again, only for Lita to reverse it. We get pinfall attempts from both women. Becky tries to hit her now patented leveraged pin, only for the ref to see. Naughty. It's quite nice. You know what? That's a bit, a bit of a nice moment in that Becky needed to resort to those tactics to get the win. Like it made Lita look a little bit better.
It really did. At
that point in the match.
We're just about to bring some water in for Andy.
Oh, nice one.
Beautiful man.
Thank you very much. Look at that.
Thank you. Look at that.
Probably won't do punishments next time.
Nope.
Lita locks in a sleeper, but Becky makes it to the ropes, even hits a powerbomb. Tries the Lita salt, but Becky rolls out the ring and takes control. Lita hits the handstand Hurricane Rana, nod to Trish.
Very good.
It's called the thing, isn't it?
Stratosphere.
Tries to hit a TOF, but Becky, Twist of Fate that is, but Becky reverses, only for Lita to double reverse it, planting Becky face first.
Yes.
And you know what? It's around this point in the match that I think things were really starting to pick up.
Things start to turn, right? Like, it looks as though Lita could potentially get the win right here. Like, I think it was very much solidified that we'll see Becky Lynch come out on top. But for a brief moment, we thought, oh my God, she's actually going to do it. It was really creative, the ways that she was reversing certain moves. And for Becky to reverse a Twist of Fate, only for then Lita to reverse it again and just plant her straight into the mat. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I think it just took a little while for Lita to sort of find her feet because things were a bit sloppy at the moment. And with no disrespect to Lita, right? She was never as crisp in the ring as, say, Trish. If we're talking about people from the same era, I think anything I say here is going to sound like I'm insulting her. I'm not. She's a legend. She's absolutely awesome. But you need to remember how Lita wrestled to begin with.
Yes.
And actually, I think she did a good job last night, especially toward the end.
Yeah, especially adapting. Sort of like changing a moveset to what she can do now, sort of limitation-wise. I thought she did fantastic.
A disarmer and a manhandle slam can't put Lita away as she gets her foot on the rope to break the pinfall. Yep. And that was really well timed.
That was really
well timed. Becky tries to hit the Lita salt, misses. She does. Lita hits a Twist of Fate and a Lita salt for a 2.9999999.
Oh, it was close.
As she goes to pick Becky up to continue the onslaught, Becky hits a surprise manhandle slam for the 1-2-3. I thought that was a bit abrupt,
That was a little bit. But it's kind of like, that's sort of Becky Lynch at the moment, right? She's kind of doing anything she can to keep the belt on her. And that's usually at the expense of surprising her opponent with something. So it fits in character, but I think for this match, it was a little bit sort of out of nowhere, just abrupt, done. That was it.
Yeah. I think this was about what I was expecting from the match.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit better. I think the closing stretches were better than what I thought we would get, but overall, I think it was pretty decent.
Yeah, me too.
I'd give this a B.
I'd give this a B as well. I said B for this one. I think, as you were saying, it started off very slow and then just picked up. I feel like Becky made Lita feel comfortable as the match went on, and that's when we started to get the best out of Lita. And I think they just worked really well together. Becky Lynch is phenomenal, I think, at the moment at putting people over, still winning, but managing to put her opponents over in a good way.
Ignoring the Bianca stuff, which I guess probably wasn't her idea. She's really selfless, isn't she? She does make people look like $1 million quite often, and she did that with Lita last night. And then following the match, that's a B, by the way. I don't know if the graphics gone up. But following the match, Lita retiring again. Yeah,
it very much felt that way, didn't it? Anyway, she was in the ring.
They played the music.
She was saying farewell, giving a bow.
I think that's your lot. But you think back to the way that she retired the first time round with Crime Time, throwing her panties and it was a vibrator or something as well. It was some naughty things. And she deserved a better send-off.
I agree.
She really did deserve a better send-off.
I agree.
And she got that last night. Oh, sure, it's an odd place for it to happen in Saudi Arabia. But it was a nice little... Wasn't it? It was cool. And fair play to Lita, who really turned things around in the match and was great by the end of it.
Absolutely. Thank you. So thank you so much for taking the lead on that one. I'm feeling all right now.
No bother. We've
got some super chats.
Ewan Hutchinson, not Hutchinson. Adam drinks some vinegar. I haven't got any, unfortunately. I apologise. Yeah, I did a shot of vinegar. I like vinegar.
Right.
I'm just hard.
Have you had vinegar prawns before?
Vinegar
just
prawns?
Put prawns in some vinegar. Dead good. I used to love that.
Sounds grim.
It sounds like a weird thing as a kid that a kid would eat. No, it's not. I think it's like a...
Sounds like a nutter would eat. What are you on about? A kid would eat. Kids eat Haribo.
Well, I used to eat it while I was watching Grizzly Tales for Grizzly
Kids. You're different, aren't you?
I am different.
And Madcap's Nips. Hey guys, old fan returning. What? I've missed you guys. Andrew is great, if a little small. Adam, what happened to your hair? It's not bad, but it does make your forehead look like Right to Censor's Titantron. Right to Censor's Titantron.
Wow.
Madcaps, you're not an old fan returning. That's the biggest load of bollocks I've ever heard. You're one of the trolls.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
You do have a fantastic hairline. Don't let the people get you.
I'm not. I am.
Well, you are. You clearly are.
Why has this become a thing? No, I'm not going there. Right.
Should we continue?
Yeah,
Let's
go
continue,
on. Let's talk about this match that isn't a match.
Getting very close. And next up, we had the Usos versus the Viking Raiders for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. The Usos, so as the Raiders are coming down, thinking we're going to get a good match. I was really looking forward to this match. Not going to lie. Yep.
I wasn't fussed.
I love both tag teams. I think both tag teams, especially together.
Oh, me too.
Very.
Me too. Usos are my favourite tag team in the world, and Viking Raiders are amazing as well, and they would have put on a barn burner.
They would have put on a barn burner.
Didn't happen.
What transpires is as the Raiders are coming down, we get double super kicks from the Usos. They're starting to rain down some nasty strikes on the big Raider boys. We get a double suplex on Ivar onto Eric, and then that is literally it. The Usos
match.
hold the belts up and then walk off. No match.
Bell didn't ring. So I don't know if an audible was called essentially, and things got changed late backstage. But I was surprised that he didn't do this. I mean, it was a weird place for it on the card anyway.
It was.
Like, even if the match had happened,
Yeah.
like that sort of palate cleanser pre-main event match. So it was a weird place for it. I wasn't that upset that it didn't happen. I'm sure we'll get there and everything.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody there isn't 100%.
Maybe
it was time constraints.
Yeah.
But they managed to squeeze in like a Bobby Lashley video package, a Seth Rollins one, a 4-hour Undertaker one
Not
as
to
well.
mention the matches themselves that we've had so far in this night have been pretty quick as well. Like they've gone by really fast. They don't last very long at all. So this felt a little bit strange.
It was weird, wasn't it?
But perhaps we're just building up to a match at WrestleMania.
You know what? It would have only gone 10 minutes tops anyway.
Yeah.
The pay-per-view in its entirety was 2 hours, 50 minutes. It could have touched 3 hours. So my hunch is that somebody's not 100% there.
Yeah, perhaps.
But I don't know.
We shall
Pure
find
speculation.
out throughout the week, I'm sure.
So one more match to talk about. It's the one that everybody's talking about, the one that has disappointed a lot of people, frustrated a lot of people, hashtag cancelled WWE Networked a lot of people. Again, I know, right, every month.
Yep.
So it's the men's chamber match.
Let's get to it.
Let's get down and dirty.
First of all, let's just mention that Rill's flip-flops, they flop. They don't, he tries to kick them off, but straight down on the floor.
Didn't notice that.
Very sad. Feel very sad.
And that's the analysis portion
it, everybody.
of the match.
Thank you for joining. Let's get to it. So we get Seth Rollins and Austin Theory kicking off the match, and Seth starts off rather cocky, thinking he can sort of have Austin's number, but then Austin takes him by surprise, I think. So there's some nice offense in there. Throughout this entire match, Austin Theory looks a million bucks, I thought.
Mate, they're so hot on him.
They're really building him up, aren't they?
The fact that he's been partnered with Vince McMahon says it all, but just the way that he's presented week in, week out. And he's really performing well as well, isn't he? Like across the board, like his matches are really, really good. His character thing, I like the gimmick. I like the selfie thing. I think he's going to be a big star in a few years. There's something special there.
I was saying to Ross, just wait until they change his name to Shane McMahon, and then he is just Vince McMahon's son from now on. But yeah, so Seth starts getting frustrated with this. He sort of ties Theory up in the chamber itself and like hitting some really stiff forearms on there as well. And that is where we get such a strange moment. So very early on, Seth Rollins hoys Austin Theory up for a buckle bomb on the outside, throws him through Bobby Lashley's chamber pod, and that takes out Bobby Lashley, essentially. He's down and out. That was
it, wasn't it? And I wasn't sure what the deal was. Apparently, Bobby Lashley, because he hasn't had a match like in ages anyway. He's been hurt for a while. He needs a bit of time off. But it was. I wasn't 100%. It's really difficult when you're doing these live streams when something like that happens, knowing if it's 100% real or not, because you don't want to go, that's fake, and then it turns out to be real. But like when Adam Pearce is out there and Jason Jordan's out there, you know it's probably not legit. So hopefully he recovers soon. The good thing about this is that he didn't lose the title, really, did he? So he comes back and he can lay claim to, I guess, whoever's got the belt or belts.
I was definitely on the fence about it because, as we'll get into it later, Austin Theory takes a rather big move and still shows some semblance of life, whereas Theory, Bobby Lashley gets hit
had some
and
plexiglass land on him.
Yeah, and then people sort of came out to help him out. So it's
they
a little bit strange.
They said that it was concussion as well, didn't it?
That's
so
true.
maybe the bump could have been more magnificent, but the priority should have been protecting Bobby Lashley if he's hurt, right?
Agreed.
So maybe that's about as much as they could do.
Yeah. So after this happens, Riddle is out next. He takes it to Rollins with a flurry of offense, and it's during this that we see medical personnel. They come out and check on Lashley and everything. Rollins hits a huge top rope inverted suplex on Riddle for a close 2. One of the things about this match is there's some phenomenal spots throughout. Like, people, again, just kind of like the women's match, people get their offense in and they make it look really good too.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Until Brock ruins everything.
Well, we'll get to that as well. So this is the part where Lashley gets carried out of the chamber by medical staff, and then Rollins follows up with a huge splash on Riddle for a 2 count. AJ Styles then enters, hits an Oshigoroshi faceplant and a torture rack into a powerbomb. My God, that man is still on absolute top form. How good he is.
Yeah, it just hasn't slowed down, has he?
Yeah,
like 20 years.
It's like he's almost getting faster. It's ridiculous. Like he's sort of powering up now.
Do you reckon they're going to give us AJ Edge?
Got to.
Yeah.
That's what. If AJ wants that, I think that's a big money match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, should be.
I don't think you can't not give that to the fans.
Heard it here first.
So yes, so AJ absolutely cleans house and takes control. In the corner, what looks as though to be a Tower of Doom is about to start, but it turns into a huge powerbomb to AJ and Rollins off the second rope from Theory. Riddle hits a standing floating bro on Theory, and then Riddle then channels Randy. Why would he not channel his best friend Randy Orton? Does some draping DDTs to Seth and AJ, and then as Riddle is pounding the mat, getting ready for the next pod countdown to begin, it lands on Bobby Lashley's pod, even though he's been taken out of the match.
And I thought we might have to wait 2 more minutes.
Yeah,
for
me too. I was
for Lesnar to finally emerge. But no.
I was thinking perhaps Lashley runs back in. Maybe it's like a swerve. Maybe
I didn't think that was a possibility at that point. Just because the announcers made it so clear, Bobby Lashley will not be coming back out. If he was going to come back out, I think they wouldn't have mentioned him. So it's a bit more of a surprise.
That's very true.
But no, it's still possible.
It's still possible. But yeah, Brock's not having any of it. He just kicks the plexiglass down and he's out. He's out of the pod.
And he does all right for himself, you know.
Nah, what? He looks strong, I guess.
Yeah, he looks
all right, I guess. So we get an update from commentary as well, telling us Lashley has a concussion. Won't be in the match, but the WWE Championship is still on the line, however. Brock eliminates Seth, Riddle, and Styles with F5s in just a matter of no time.
All about a minute that whole lot happened.
Very sort of sad about this.
Okay.
In that they were just essentially fodder for Brock Lesnar. They looked very strong throughout this whole entire match. I think.
What were you expecting, though?
I mean, that's the thing, though. That's the thing. I guess I would have expected, or would have liked to have seen a little more offense between those veterans who have been in the title picture before. You know what I mean? Just to take them out like that was quite sad. We've seen Brock have amazing matches with these people as well. Maybe if we got a little more of a
maybe it would have been nice. Maybe it would have been nice. I don't want to see back and forth. I wanted to see Brock demolish people.
But then, yeah, exactly. But that takes away from them building Brock up.
Maybe they could have ganged up on him first just to get something in. But I people are really upset about this, and I get it because you know what? It was predictable. It was gonna play out this way. But at the same time, what were you expecting? This is Brock Lesnar. This is what he does, and nobody else does it like him. And I actually, people are gonna hate me for this. I like him. I like it as well.
This is the thing. I would have been a lot more upset about it if it wasn't for the fact that Brock Lesnar is just on another level these days.
There's nobody else like him, and there never has been.
Exactly.
He's so good,
and now he's just having fun with it too.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing about it. It's not like he's coming in and being kind of like the version of himself where he didn't want to be there, but he was the champion anyway, so he had to be there, and it just looked like nobody was invested then, were they? Everybody is so invested now.
And right, those three names that we just talked about there, you got Rollins, Riddle, AJ.
Yeah.
They're all going to be in, I would assume, pretty big matches
Yeah.
at WrestleMania. I don't know if Randy and Riddle do something. AJ's probably going to get Edge. I can't quite figure out Rollins at the moment, but he'll no doubt get something good. It hasn't really harmed them, and Brock is just, I don't know. I think he's unreal. He's so enjoyable to watch. So I get the disappointment, but it's a spectacle, isn't it? And
Without
again, what were you expecting?
What were you expecting? And now comes the time of, this is Austin Theory's biggest moment. All in time. So
his
far,
life.
It is live right now, without a doubt. So Theory tries to escape, but Brock stops it from happening. Brock starts stalking Theory around the chamber. It's so good. Theory even tries to hide in a chamber pod, but Leslie's just like, just boots it down. Phenomenal.
So good.
And then he hits a mean suplex as well. Like, it looks like he's not effing around. He just hoys him.
Yeah.
It looks so real. It's ridiculous. As Brock goes to pick Austin back up, Theory hits a low blow, which I was surprised about.
Brilliant moment.
Like,
you know what? This took me back to Santino Marella in the Elimination Chamber, Aura in the Rumble as well.
Yeah,
It's like, oh my God, the underdog's going to do it. He's gonna do it.
He's got it.
But he didn't.
No.
He very much
Which
didn't.
we will get to. Theory hits a low blow. He even gets the rolling drop kick on Brock Lesnar, which looks phenomenal
Really
too.
look good.
Brock sells that really well, and a DDT. Gets a 2 count. Brock just throws him off, and he looks PO'd.
Yep.
He's red at this point. This buzzer wasn't even as red as Brock Lesnar's face last night. So then Theory climbs the wall of the Elimination Chamber and tries to get out through the roof in such a fantastic moment.
Crawling through the thing.
Yeah. So doing anything he can to get out of the chamber.
Just
with
complete
Brock Lesnar.
desperation, and he sold that really well.
It's so good. And then he gets halfway through before Brock Lesnar just scales the wall like it's no problem. Like, he's just like, just jumping, like leapfrogging. It's ridiculous. And then they end up on the top of the chamber and
the pod.
And if you would, Dan, please, because it's time for the big beefy bussing moment.
Waiting for that.
It's time for my big beefy bussing moment.
I mean,
As if there were any doubt.
what else could it be?
What else could it
right?
be? The F5 off the chamber pod to Austin Theory. Granted, he lands on his legs, but how else was he supposed to land from a bump that high in the air from a beast like Brock Lesnar? Like, it was absolutely
It's one of those things that will be played for years and years to come in highlight packages. It was just awesome.
It was spot on.
Yeah.
It was spot on. And then, just Brock gets Theory back in the ring. 1, 2, 3. Brock is your new WWE champion. Yeah. And that is it. Now, whilst obviously there's just conflicting feelings about this one. In that, obviously, I think it's a very convoluted way to get title versus title for WrestleMania. For all this to happen, you have Brock lose the title at Royal Rumble, for Bobby to win it, and then only for Bobby to be injured, and then just lose it. It like this. Maybe we're building something up again. Maybe Lashley's in for another sort of defense. Another title
He'll
shot
get another
against
go. Yeah.
Roman or Brock, whoever comes out of WrestleMania with a championship and whatnot. But
he'll get another go at it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the moments made this match.
Yeah.
But because of its predictability, I get the frustration, and I don't think you can grade it too high here.
Yeah.
But just because it was all over, it was the Brock show again, which it always is, and I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But we could have seen a bit more before that happened.
Absolutely. But you know, sort of to the same sort of effect as the women's chamber match, it didn't outstay its welcome. Everybody got their spots in. I think they did a fantastic job of building Austin Theory. They're really putting, I think, a lot of stock into that young whippersnapper. And I can see him being a main event star pretty soon, to be fair.
It's such a hard one to grade.
It really is.
It's such a hard one. I'm tempted to just go down the middle. Let's give it a C.
Yes. Yeah, I go for that. I said
there are negatives, there are positives.
Yeah. I think there was great moments with sort of poor execution almost. So I reckon like in the middle is a good is a good shout.
Still gonna hate us.
They are. They're absolutely. We can
whack
see
a C
it.
up. Whack a C up.
That's it. So let's give WWE Elimination Chamber 2022 an overall grade. What are you thinking, Adam?
The more we've talked about this, the more I think, that was better than people are making out. There was some really enjoyable stuff on there, and there was some gash on there as well.
Yeah.
I'd say a C again.
I'd say a C. I think people who we might not have thought would necessarily do a particularly good job pulled it out of the bag. Madcap Moss being one of those people who, like, really, I think, put everything into.
It's one of those things where people have focused on the ending so much, like with the Rumble pay-per-view as well.
I mean, that is the thing you do think about afterwards. You know, for a long time, is the ending of a pay-per-view. If it's very lackluster, then you kind of go away with sort of a bad taste in your mouth, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And don't get me wrong, the men's Rumble as a whole wasn't great or anything.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, that pay-per-view was all right, and I thought Elimination Chamber was all right.
All right, yeah.
That's
literally
it.
Just
so I think a C's fair. We got a couple more super chats to get through before we say goodbye. Gun Monroe, who fills Lashley's spot as he's out at least 4 months due to surgery. Adam, ignore the trolls. They're just jealous.
They are.
They've got to wait to be in their 50s to start balding.
I waited till my 20s. So.
Well, Lashley doesn't need his spot filled, really, does he? He's not the champion. They're doing champion versus champion. I think you just wait for him to get back.
I think that's it. I think
Lashley's spot was as the champion. He's not the champion anymore.
No.
And Gar Monroe, thanks for that. Crates of Hippos. We have a 2-day WrestleMania with only one men's match with WrestleMania level stakes. Doesn't day one feel like a long pre-show now? Well, let's see where we get, right?
Let's see where we're
still 6 weeks away.
We are. There's still some build to WrestleMania. I kind of think that the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, whilst they have been very meh, we are building towards something. Whether we're putting all our eggs in one basket with it just being Brock and Roman, that's a different story. But I really hope they pull it out of the bag for WrestleMania, because they have been quite meh, and I don't want.
That's it. The road to WrestleMania hasn't been great.
No one wants WrestleMania to be meh, especially not when it's 2 nights either.
Oh. Boring.
Pretty rubbish, wasn't it?
They bring back Stone Cold.
Yes.
And Hulk Hogan. Dan Larry, Brock, 10-time champ, should break record. Yes, please.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
That's the one.
I'm not going to argue.
Everybody, thank you so much. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating in this WWE Elimination Chamber 2020 live review. We've got plenty of things up on the channel. By now, obviously, we've got What Happened At. I think very soon we'll most probably have WTF as well.
Couple of hours time, yeah.
Yeah, you did a live stream last night that I'm sure is on is that on the channel still?
Yeah, that's still up on there.
You can go back and watch that.
But really, wait until tomorrow when the proper edited reactions, which were filmed yesterday, go up, and you don't have to watch for like 4 hours.
No, it's all
cut down to like 45 minutes or something. Yeah, so watch that.
So watch that.
Better.
But on that note, thank you so much.
I'm not balding.
No, he's not. He's got a very lovely, luscious head of hair. We would also also like to thank Justin Thunder Tiger for his participation.
Yeah, thanks, Justin.
Well. He's already. What's that? I think I hear the plane to Japan. It's flying off. We'll see him next time. I'm more than certain about that. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will see you very, very soon. Take care.